Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our kind of homesteading. Yes, good. We're your hosts, Sherry.
And Shauna. I didn't even check my face or anything.
Yeah,
Do I look like...
I just threw makeup on.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I look like.
It's so fucking
Ran
hot in here.
It was like, makeup.
It's like either cold or it's hot in here. We don't get anything in between.
It's fucking hot. You want to turn this fan on? Is that not
No,
going to be okay?
because it's like...
Okay. Well, so
hello.
we have to sweat for all of you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So you're welcome.
So, so today we're going to talk about basically like budgeting and a bunch of different stuff. So one of our listeners, Joy, thank you, Joy, for listening. I'm still like really fucking loud. Like, shut up.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I was. Joy, she asked, so she's moving on to their homestead hopefully in another year, but she has they have debt. She has a car payment. She has like college she's paying off. So she was like, how do you guys do it? She wants to be like a stay-at-home mom, like similar situation.
Does she have children right now? Or
no,
eventually?
But she's like hoping to be a stay-at-home mom. But she's like, she's like, right now it's hard to pay stuff off.
Right. And like,
she
how
doesn't
do you do
have
it?
Kids.
Right.
And the homestead. Right.
Like
how
it's
do you
only going to get more expensive with children.
How do you juggle everything?
Yeah. It's a great question.
It is a great question. So we wanted to do, I don't know if she was asking because how we did ask everyone to write in questions for the Q&A.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was her point originally, but I asked if we could just do a whole topic on it because I think a lot of people are in similar situations.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, I agree.
And like not sure if they can or they don't want to make the jump because they think that they won't be able to, to do it.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd talk about that. Basically how we live our lives.
Yes.
Not that you guys don't. I mean, I think we're always very honest. We're not like, obviously.
Open book, people. Yeah. Open book. Ask me anything.
We're not making lots of money.
We don't make, we barely make any money, you and I, but our husbands make money. It's nothing like, we're obviously not millionaires. I wish I was a millionaire. Be kind of cool.
I don't know. I think I'd be a really bad millionaire. I think I'd be like, I'd get to the point where, I'd want like people doing all the things for me. Like when I say all the things, like,
no,
I mean,
that's
like
not true.
Cleaning
you would
my
not.
house.
I was going to say, no, you would just want a maid and maybe even, I don't even think you want to cook, would you?
I'd want somebody to clean up after me.
A maid.
When I cook.
It's essentially a maid.
Another maid. I want two maids.
I need a maid for when I'm done cooking and a maid for just my everyday house.
Yeah. And then sometimes I'd want some,
yeah, depending on how you're feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you would not want everything. No, we'd be great millionaires. We'd be great at that.
I don't know. We'd be great at that.
We'd be great at it.
Hey, there's lots of things we'd be great at.
Yeah. And that's one of them. Put it on the list.
Yeah, put it on the list.
Being a millionaire.
I don't know.
I'd be a super nice millionaire
and
too.
I would be worried.
I'd be giving money to everybody.
I don't know about people because but animals.
Yes, I would 100% be giving
animals,
money to people.
all the animals I would save as like, that's how I would go bankrupt being a millionaire is because I would just save all the animals.
I know. Oh my God.
I'd have all the sanctuaries
so
and
bad.
all the
I
things.
know.
That's like I would spend all my money on that, and I would like be like, yes.
I would need like an allowance to spend on sanctuaries.
Yes,
like animals.
somebody would have to
someone would have to be like, this is your allowance.
So you would be honest
for sanctuaries.
Yeah,
and I'd be like, but I already spent that yesterday. And he'd be like, well, then that's all you have to spend. You've already spent it for the month.
But I want to get these 3 emus and 10 horses and 5 donkeys. They need
It'd
saved.
be ridiculous. Yeah, I'd be unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
Yeah.
I think
there are worse things, Shauna. There are worse things.
Yeah. I don't know. I still don't think I'd be good at.
So how'd you lose all your money? I rescued lots of animals and now I'm stuck with them and now we don't have any money.
Yeah, when you say it like that sounds nice.
It's nice.
It's nice, yeah.
Look at us.
It's a good way to lose all your money.
It is a good way to lose your money.
Not like if I was
selfish.
like,
We're just like,
if I had a superpower, I would definitely be a villain a little bit of the time.
I think everyone would.
Yeah, but some of the time I'd be nice.
Depending on your.
But some of the time I absolutely would be a villain. Exactly.
Are your straps too tight? I mean, I'm sorry.
We are at a wedding, okay, and Sherry's losing it. She's spiraling out of control.
No, I wasn't initially. No, I was perfectly fine. We got there. I was helping all these other girls with like
our girls were in the wedding, so it was like, and it was like a really
big bridal party, and I was helping all these other girls pinning up dresses and putting hair pieces in.
She was good, but then
it was fine.
It got to the point to the eating time, and it was past Sherry's like. Once Sherry gets hungry, she's extremely hypoglycemic, and once her blood sugar starts diving,
tanking into the ground,
so does her her mood. And
Yes, my
she
mood
becomes,
goes with
she just becomes completely irrational. And like,
Well-
she has this look like you'll know, like she's pissed, and you do not speak to her. Don't speak to her. She like bites the
anything
front.
you say is going to be wrong.
She bites like the front of her lip, and she's just mad. She's angry at everything. If you talk to her, she's gonna be angry about whatever you bring up. She's gonna hate it.
I'm
going
gonna
to
find a way to be angry about that.
And she was just like,
well, so
ranting.
I've learned obviously how to control my hypoglycemia.
Have you?
I have. I very much, like when I was a kid, there was
Except for then?
If it's with something else that day, my straps on my dress. I know it sounds like a crazy person, but that's just how I am. I have sensory issues.
Let me finish the story. So later on, she eats. Okay, we eat food because that's when food was served. We eat food, and then I was like, "Oh wow, you're in a way better mood," because she's like laughing and making jokes now, and everything is right in Cherry's world. She's like, "Yeah, I was hungry and my straps were too tight." I was like,
and like I don't know. At one point after I ate, I kind of had like a. Cause see, it was because I was starving and the straps. It was just the two. I couldn't even see the problem. I could not see it. Yeah. I could not see it. So after I ate, and I kind of was like, I was feeling better, but I'm like, what is my problem? So like, I just don't feel right, and I'm like, oh my god, my straps. It's my straps and my straps. Like I wore the same exact dress, like literally, fucking 2 years ago, perfectly fine, and I I haven't like gained weight or anything, but my boobs are bigger because I'm nursing right now. Okay. So because I wore that same fucking dress to a different wedding, perfectly fine all day, all night long, no problems. And this dress, I was like, I think that's why I wasn't computing what was the issue. Cause I was like, it can't be the dress. I just wore this dress. Not just 2 years is a long time ago.
So once she took her straps down and she ate
just
something,
like took them
off.
off.
She just took her straps off and she was like, and then she was fine.
I could see the sun. It was bright all over
and
again.
I was like, wow, she's in a way better mood.
Yeah.
But it was just crazy. And like even she's like sending text messages to her family members and people are texting me like, wow, Sherry's in a really bad mood. Like, what's the problem? And I was like, she's just spiraling. We're just gonna ride it out. We're just gonna ride it out.
Sean was like, I don't know, but I choose to ignore it. I'm just gonna.
I don't
not
want
really
to ignore
make
it.
eye
Like
contact.
I want to help you, but I don't know how to help you because I don't know your straps are too tight.
Of course. Well, how would you?
So exactly. So I just have to like, I just ignore it. I let her sit there and stare off and be mad about things. When people come up and talk to her, then they realize they shouldn't have, and they walk away.
And they're like staring at me, they like walk away. And I'm looking at them like, what? What? I was like so mad. I was so mad at everything. It was like crazy.
So funny. So yeah, that was good time.
Sensory issues are fun. And I don't even realize I have them. I mean, I do until, it's just crazy.
Anywho,
back to our segue back
to do
here we go
with that.
I feel like so how do we afford homesteading? I mean, oftentimes we don't. I feel like we do, but there's times that we don't, right? There's times that whatever the fuck because of our car needs serviced or this or that, right? It's like it is hard, and so it puts us in a bind. Sean and I are both very fortunate to have, we have our parents and they would never let us go without really much. You know what I mean? And then Shauna also has fantastic in-laws.
I do.
My in-laws are also fantastic, but they're like they do not have any money. And so anyways, because of that, I feel like things are just
easier.
It's easier. And that's just the cards that
hard. Like,
yeah, no, don't get me wrong. It's not like we're living fucking the luxe life over here. It's not like eating bonbons every fucking day and sitting. No.
But
like,
we do.
We have months that we have to okay, shit, we got a super budget. No, there's absolutely no eating out. There's absolutely no Starbucks, for example. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean.
Bite your tongue.
Bite your tongue. And now my daughters are like, no Starbucks, like, but so
see, they'd be shitty millionaires. I can't. All the Starbucks.
Oh yeah! Oh my god!
That's what they would spend their millions on. Thanks, Mom.
Our mom's always feeding us when we're podcasting because she loves us.
This is how we save money. We come to our mom's house. We've actually mentioned that before.
And that's a huge part of it, right?
There's been times where
you just don't have any fucking
we
money.
don't have any money, and like
no money equals no food.
And so, but our mom, she's like a prepper, and she has a bunch of food in her house, and
constantly.
So we'll come grocery shopping at her house. So hopefully you have parents like that if you're struggling and you can go shopping at their house. I'm 40 and I still am like, I'll bring a bag over. I'll be like, hey Mom, taking some beans.
How are you? Just filling this bag up.
Yeah.
Might fill a second bag.
Yeah. So it's,
depends on your stockpile.
It really, our parents are huge helps. Our mom especially, like we always call her out in the show. She's always like, because that's just how we are in our family. We always are just constantly joking, and everything's very like lighthearted. It's never like,
we don't really. I mean, we do mean it, but no one takes like crazy.
We're just that's how we
just like
communicate.
I guess
in
you
our
could call it a toxic trait, but to us it's great. It's great. Yeah.
But anyways, our mother is always over the top, like generous, like no matter what. Always. And she'll be like, you guys need this, I'll pay for it. Your kids need this, I'll pay for it. And so obviously that can be a huge help. Like obviously both Sherry and I do not like to take advantage of that. No. I really try to either pay her back or whatever. Like we try to do things to, give back, because we also were raised to not, always be like,
gimme.
Thank you very much. And walk away. Like when
I've borrowed money from mom, like, well, I either just pay her back my taxes. I'm like, I'm adding it to your total, I'll tell her. Or I just come up and clean her house. One thing my mom hates, she hates cleaning. And she hates organizing. She doesn't like any of it. Like, she doesn't like it. I actually don't mind it. So I'll just come up, organize her fucking pantry, clean it all out, make it all pretty.
There's like
and then
things
she
you
appreciates
can
it.
do.
Yeah, exactly.
I will, like, if I borrow money, I'll end up just like paying her back, even if it's like piecemeal. Like, I'll be like, here's this.
Oh, yeah.
But like, so
here's
obviously that is huge, and most people don't have that.
Yes, it is huge. Yes,
and that is definitely one of the things that we constantly we all rely on each other. We have a big family. Even if like I'm out with Sherry and she doesn't have money, I'm like, here. Vice versa. She's always bringing my kids shit. I'm like, don't do that. Like, it's fine. They're fine. You can just get your kids stuff, because she already has like $1 billion. But every time. So
money is to be spent.
Can't take it with you.
So
also, I think another thing is letting go of the idea. I think a lot of us kind of look at things, or especially if you're getting into homesteading and you're researching it, you're looking at these Instagram pages or Facebook pages, and they're not
realistic,
attainable.
Yep.
And you see this the cute, how they dress and everything's so perfect, and they have a beautiful barn and a beautiful house, and it's not reality. Those people have a bunch of money. They have a shit ton of money,
and they started with money. They came from money, whatever you want to call it, and then they built this whole brand, and now that's also making them money. But like,
starting with money, it makes it easier to make money.
I mean, starting with money makes everything easier, and so it's like those kind of picture perfect shit that you see on Instagram. It's truly just not attainable for most people, but it's perfectly fine. Like, view it as like, fucking magazine fucking shit that you look at the magazine, you're like, oh, it's a perfect little snapshot. Like, it's a snapshot, and it's a millimeter of a second, right? And then also, again, it was set up. There's lots of money behind it, and it just, for most people, it's not going to be attainable. So don't compare yourself to that, and don't try to reach that, because it's unrealistic, and you're only going to make yourself upset. A true working farm, you're going to have literal shit everywhere, but run down, broken down, constantly things need to be constantly fixed, mended, repaired. It's an ongoing thing, and nothing is going to be picture perfect, like, ever. Never, ever, ever.
Never, ever. And you kind of, I enjoy the imperfections of everything.
Ditto.
I kind of like, we lean into it.
Yes, we do lean into
Probably more than we should. But,
I embrace it.
We do.
Yeah.
And I think homesteading, you kind of have to, unless you have a shit ton of money to where you can just keep covering all the blemishes up.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have farm hands and everything else that we do not do that. We don't live like that. We probably never will, but I enjoy the process of homesteading, of making the bread, of going out and tending to sick animals. Obviously I don't want my animals to be sick, but I enjoy every process that homesteading includes.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a ton of stuff that is considered homesteading that is 100% attainable for anybody. Making bread? Like, you'll save money. You'll save money. Sorry.
No, we're going to keep snagging each other. This is how we
talk. Wacky. You will save money versus buying a loaf of bread in the store. Gardening, it definitely can be cheaper, especially if you plant from seed. There's just so many things that actually can be cheaper.
Especially if you're buying your homestead for the first time, and you can like basically if you have like a deer fence and everything up, you can landscape veggies into your landscape.
Yeah, 100%.
So, like, instead of having, like, oh, well, you want to put these useless plants here, plant fucking strawberries all right there.
Yeah.
Like, there's lots of things you can do to save your space and to save money, to save time, like everything. So just kind of like, you kind of have to like flip the script of, instead of things like you want things because it's aesthetic, and it can be too.
Yeah,
but like you should have things because they're useful. And you can also make them aesthetic at the same time. Does that make sense? Kind of?
Yeah, 100%. Yes. I mean, I think all those plants are aesthetic. Another thing is that on your property...
I'm going to have a sip of this.
Yeah, have some. On your property, become very aware and, educate yourself on the natural things that are growing indigenously on your property that you can utilize.
Forage, yeah.
I have a fuck ton of chamomile that grows everywhere. I also have a shit ton of nettles that grow literally everywhere. Like, I literally can't harvest it all. That is how much it's growing. I just harvested so much chamomile yesterday.
I was going to do that today. I have some growing, but I do not have nearly as much as you.
No, and it's just a ridiculous amount. And it can, like, chamomile, the teas, so many different things. And it's so good for you. Nettles, again, so many health benefits. And you can utilize it in so many different things. Tinctures, teas, freaking solves, so many things. And so that can save money. It actually can, because you can make tea out of any of that. And then you could even try.
Homesteading is using what you have, saving money. It's
exactly.
Not. It's definitely not. It obviously can be a very expensive hobby, but
it's only what you want to put into it, though.
Absolutely.
Like, if you don't have $1,000 a month to put into homesteading, well, then just don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, you obviously, look at your budget. Okay, so this is what our budget is after we, that we have this debt and this debt and this debt and this whatever the fuck. Okay, great. We have this much left over, and I'm going to put this much of that into, I'm going to go buy seeds, and I'm going to buy 5 chickens. And then, a couple months later, you can do something else, or whatever your, your budget is, essentially. Just don't go over your budget. Definitely don't go into debt over it. Like, that would seem, but again, obviously not my life, but.
I also, because like we're both, stay-at-home moms, and we do all the homesteading and all the kid stuff, and we homeschool our kids. So, but I honestly, like, if you price out like childcare, especially in those beginning years of your kid's life,
so expensive.
It's so expensive. It's almost cheaper for a parent to stay home.
It 100% is cheaper for parents to stay home.
Than it is to, and then you get to imprint on your child and all of your views and morals and everything else that you, instead of somebody else doing that. So I mean, obviously we've talked about it so much, but we obviously love homesteading, homeschooling, being with our children all day long, and our kids, because we are outside, we're either gardening, we're foraging, we're tending with animals, we're doing something, like they get a lot of life experiences out of that. So it is like a very, speaking to Joy specifically right now, if you want to do that, I think that's your husband or significant other is working, a job that you can afford your house payment and whatever other bills you have, then why not? Even if you're like, okay, like we're barely making it and you can't get animals like right away or something like that because you can't pay for the feed bills, then like, you can still homestead in so many different, like Sherry was saying, like the gardening, foraging, making your bread, making medicines.
Yeah.
There's so many facets to homesteading that doesn't include the animals. Animals are expensive. But
chickens aren't terribly expensive, especially if you were to allow them to free range.
Then you don't have to
for
feed
most
them
of the time. You're not going to have to feed them as much.
That's a great point.
So my chickens are little beggars, and they always come running whenever they see me because they want like treats. And I do. So that's another thing. We don't waste anything because it truly goes to, like, if it's meat, it's going to the dogs, and if it's anything else, it's basically going to the chickens. And we really don't buy a ton of chicken feed. Now, when it's super dry out and there's not as many bugs, then yes. The same thing for our goats, though. Our goats are free ranging, and I'm not feeding them right now. Like, they're not getting hay.
Yeah.
But that's only going to probably last another week here,
Yep.
unless we have some more rain.
Yep.
It's only going to last another week, and then I'm going to have to start feeding them their hay again. So,
6 months out of the year,
yes,
we're like feeding our goats.
Yes.
Because they can't, forage. The chickens, I have more locked up just because I'm crazy and I have too many roosters that fight with each other. So I do feed more, and I was doing a really good job about selling the eggs, and then I would break even on the feed and
which is awesome. Sell eggs. Another thing that I was thinking about selling was the chamomile and the nettle, like drying it, putting it into little like thingies and being like tea. Buy it. You know what I mean? So there are things you can do if you only had like, let's say like 5 chickens. You could easily break even with feed like that. Easily.
Oh yeah. And
I mean, super like I'm talking like I have like 80 chickens, and like I don't know. We don't feed, like I said, I'm not buying feed all the time
we
for
have
them,
like
but
60, 70 chickens.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely ways to,
and you're going to save on money on eggs.
Absolutely start off small. Don't
absolutely
go crazy.
Yes. Well,
Don't
especially if you have a tight budget. I mean, obviously you're going to have to start small. I mean, that seems obvious, but maybe not. But get 4 chickens. Get 5
don't get
chickens.
any large animals that are gonna be really costly, like horses, cows, even large goats. I would stick with small. If you do want to get into dairy goats, small.
And
Nigerians.
but even before that, though, like again, and we've always said this: don't just jump into something. Make sure you're doing your research. We've talked a ton about starting off and stuff, and those small animals are going to need enclosures. They're going to need a proper enclosure too, not just like a lean-to with like fucking 2 walls up. You're talking like at least a 3-sided enclosure. And if you have a high predator load or even any predator load, which I'm assuming everyone does, you would need like a completely enclosed space for them to go at night.
Unless you have an LGD.
Unless you have a big dog running around. And not just a big dog, but like Shauna said, an LGD.
Yeah.
Specifically meant to guard your livestock. So again, like something not to rush into. Make sure you have all that built, because you're going to feel a lot better having it all in place. And that's something that you can do over the course of a year or 2.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like, okay, we're going to get goats in 2 weeks. We got to build all the shelter, and we're going to be super, money's going to be super, super tight. Like, don't do that to yourself.
Okay. And if anything I've learned over the years of making because my husband and I both worked when we first got our house. We were both working, and it was right before we had kids.
Yeah.
And we made a lot more money.
Isn't that weird?
We never had any.
That's what I was going to say. Isn't that strange?
Okay. And then I stopped working, so we only had the one salary. We had kids on top of it, gaining more animals. We still didn't have any money, but it's not like...
But they didn't before either.
Yeah. So my point is, because Joy
You're always gonna
specifically
live
was
within your
asking,
means.
like, she's like, we don't have any money now. You'll always live within your means. You make it work if you really want it to. And I think that's like the biggest thing, is being like, I want to live this lifestyle. It's
like, what sacrifices are you willing to make in order to have a homesteading lifestyle?
Yes.
Because there's definitely sacrifices. If that's like Joy, speaking specifically to you, I'm not sure if you're like, oh, I usually get a Starbucks twice a week, or I usually do this. And there's definitely things I would assume in everyone's life
that they can cut back.
That they can cut back on.
Yeah.
Or even if it's like, I don't know, I have a club that I joined. You know what I mean? It's like a workout club,
Yeah.
Like those kinds of things. Just, I don't know, go through your budget, figure out like what's completely just not completely necessary.
There's so many things too, and I think that's one of the reasons I love homesteading, is you keep finding more ways. It's not necessary. I'm not like a crazy, like, I need to save money. But like I really enjoy making our own cleaner. I never buy a all-purpose cleaner.
Ditto.
Ever. I've never buy it.
Never.
I always make it.
Yep. And it's just so dumbly easy to make, for example, a cleaner. And that's $5 at least that you're going to save going to the grocery store and picking up a cleaner. Does that make sense? Like, and that's $5 that can go into your new chicken feed for your brand new chickens that you just bought. Like things, it's
that's
tiny
where it seems
things
small,
that will add
it
up.
Absolutely adds up.
Like we don't buy paper towels. I never buy any kind of paper product besides obviously toilet paper.
Yeah, I don't buy paper towels either.
But see, I know there's a lot of people, Mom for one, she likes to buy paper towels, which is perfectly fine. But I'm saying, like, if you were in a tight budget, Mom is not in a tight budget, but if you were in a tight budget, you could be like, okay, you know what? We're not going to buy those paper towels.
Paper
and
towels are
napkins.
hella expensive.
They're so expensive.
So what we do is we have like linen napkins.
I have linen napkins. Just fucking wash those
things. The other
things.
thing, if you don't want to buy linen napkins, if you go to like the thrift store, which I love a thrift store, by the way, for finding clothes and shit.
Yeah,
like,
buy.
Yeah.
Hi, Frodo.
But find like the flannel sheets and you just cut those up into, like, rags or whatever, and you can use them as everything instead of paper towels, and then you just keep washing them when you need to wash them.
So much better.
The other thing,
I'll do that with old towels because I don't know why my kids are so hard on towels.
We're same.
Is that strange?
Yeah. We go through so many towels. I'm all constantly like when someone's like, "Do you want these old towels?" I'm like, "Yes."
100
Yes.
100 times
what
yes.
old towels
I'm
are
never
to you are
gonna
like
tell
new
you
towels for us. I don't know why.
Thank you. Our towels will get holes so easy.
Yes.
I'm like, what are you guys doing in the shower?
What are you doing?
Where has this towel been?
It's seen some things.
Oh my gosh! Right? If only the towel could talk.
I don't know if you wanted to.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't. I'll pass. But I will take old towels that are have tons of holes in them. I'm like, okay, this is not a shower towel any longer.
No longer.
Okay, and I'll
Shower
cut that
acceptable.
into things. We use it for cleaning. We use it for just napkins, whatever the fuck. As long as it's clean, it can be used as a napkin.
Yeah,
and so that's another way to save money. And I know it's small, but if you add that to the cleaner, if you add that to I'm trying to think of other shit that I just don't buy.
So the other thing Sherry and I don't buy, which can be a huge expense for a lot of people, and they don't realize it because we don't buy meat.
Yes, that's very, very true.
Meat's expensive.
It's ridiculously expensive.
So I do buy fish because my daughter is pescatarian and my husband is a meat eater, but I don't like buying meat, so I just buy fish. But it can save on the budget, and we only eat. Or I don't eat fish at all, but they only eat fish like maybe once a week. So the rest of the time I'm making things. We make a lot. Making meals at home will save you a bunch of money.
That's the other thing. So, a food out, like obviously that's fun. And don't get me wrong. We're not like, we don't never get food out. Like it's fine. But going home and just making food, you're going to save. For us, it saves quite a bit of money. I have a lot of kids, so you go to a restaurant. We're dropping, if all my kids are there plus Abby, we're easy dropping like $350 at a restaurant,
and that's
easy.
That's
like a Mexican joint.
Yeah, not like anything crazy.
This isn't like a fancy Italian place.
We never go to fancy Italian places. That'd be weird. You never see us there.
I would never want to take my kids to a fancy place, though. They would not appreciate that.
They'd be like, look, they use linen napkins, too. Why are they white? So obviously there's a lot of meals you can do that are inexpensive, and you get used to that. Like, especially, like, once you start, like, parenting and, it's just, like, easy, cheap meals are always on the ticket. Obviously, any kind of pastas, beans, rices. We actually did didn't we do a meal?
Yeah, we did do one. But I feel like we should do another one. I feel like we should do one, like, a snack one.
A snack?
Like, how to make,
to
make, like, good homemade snacks that are just really, really easy. I made some really great sourdough cheddar crackers. The kids loved them.
Yeah.
They were great.
Yeah.
I make Legend these things. It's like I get a piece of bread and I put Nutella on the inside and then half a banana and I roll it up and I dip it in egg and then I slice it. He fucking loves it. All my kids love it, actually.
Dip it in egg and then you fry it like
like a piece of French toast almost, but it's rolled. There's banana in it. It's really good. I love them. We're all obsessed. We eat it quite often. And it's, it's not like... It's really, really good, and it's not expensive,
especially
obviously.
if you have your own, if you're getting all of your chicken eggs.
We see
food-wise, there's a ton of cheap and easy meals.
Yes.
We'll try to remember to put the budget meal one in our show notes.
I will try to remember. The other thing about saving money is great and all, but the biggest reason that I like to make as much as I can, the cleaners, all that stuff, getting the eggs for my chickens, it is all so much healthier for you. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to keep my kids as healthy as possible. I know they have things, obviously. They have soda. They have some McDonald's. So, like,
life's a balance.
Life is a balance. And I'm not going to be like, no soda. Like, I don't have that kind of spine. And I just, whatever.
And it's still life. You should still
It's still life. You should still enjoy it to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But I am going to make my own cleaner because I know that cleaners you buy from the stores are carcinogenic. I'm definitely will always have my own chickens. A, I love birds. And B, chicken eggs, like fresh from the farm chicken eggs, I can't tell you how much better they are for you. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, do you know store-bought eggs, by the time you get them, they're 3 months old.
Yeah, it's
They
crazy,
have been bleached.
They've been bleached, yeah.
Those chickens that lay them are so unhealthy. I mean, I can go on for days. And so the chicken eggs you get from your own chickens are just like 1,000 times better. And that's one of the main reasons I enjoy homesteading. And then the money, obviously, saving the money. That's great.
That's like, yeah. And that could be like, are we saving money? Like sometime, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. For me, yeah, maybe I do spend more on my chickens than it would be just to buy eggs, but I just don't care because we do have.
Oh, I don't care either.
I will. I don't care what I have to do. I will always have chickens.
Yeah.
Because it's worth it to me because I know those eggs are just 1,000 times better for us. And see, that's what's worth it to me. Like my health, yes. My kids' health, yes. I'm going to be betting on that any day.
If you have like dual purpose birds, and you eat meat, you can absolutely process your own chickens and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
So it is, and that would obviously be cheaper than buying it. So like it's just basically a change in your lifestyle, a change in how you do things and how you view things.
How you view things, for sure. Yes.
And you absolutely can do it. You absolutely can do it.
Yep. You just got to find where you can cut back on corners. How am I going to afford this? Because this is what I want to do. And you know what? Fucking grab the bull by the horns and just fucking do it because life is short. You only live once. And so you should do all the things that you want to do.
Just do it. Get your property.
That's right.
Get it started. And obviously, like, you know, it's a huge learning curve and you're going to make mistakes
you're gonna fuck
and
up,
you're going to be like,
we all have though.
But that's just like, that's life. And, and, you know, and if you want to be a stay-at-home mom, I would say, and your, you know, significant other is good with that too, then absolutely, like, you should do it because, I think that is huge for how kids are like raised. And just like it is so, it's fulfilling for like, if that's something that it really speaks to you and that's what you want to do, then it's so,
again, you should do that.
You should absolutely do it because it's so fulfilling and it's so amazing. And it, like, the sacrifices you have to make to do that will absolutely 100 times over be worth it.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Like, so like sometimes we can't go on a vacation. We like to go on like vacations and sometimes we're like, oh, we're just going to go camping this year because it's cheap, you know, like,
and that's just one of the sacrifices that we
like
make.
One of them. Yeah.
Like we make a lot of sacrifices, but they're nothing that I'm not willing to let go of, is my point. Because for me personally and for Shauna as well, staying home with my kids, like, I know for a fact that, you know, kids that have a parent all the time home with them, they're just very, very well-rounded. You have a better connection to them since you are at home with them, and there can be ongoing conversations, and there's an ongoing, like, literally, like, you're constantly connected, I guess is what I'm trying to say. When your kids go off to school, that connection has to be broken. And obviously, right? Because you're not with them. And I had my older boys who were 20 and 18. They were in school for a time, just until 3rd and 4th grade. But I yanked them out, started homeschooling, and we've been at it ever since. And so it's a night and day difference. And I felt like when my boys were in school, my relationship with them was definitely being, like, affected and not for the best. And that was one reason I did it. Mm-hmm. I was like, fuck this. Like, I'm over it.
And you worked too when they were younger.
Yeah, and I worked as well when they were little. Mm-hmm. We were paying for preschool, which is hideously expensive, by the way.
Dumb.
Just so dumb. And there was, and, you know, obviously, you know, you always, you know, make mistakes when you're a stupid, dumb young mom, you know. You're like, should I send in preschool?
Well, and it's
like,
so hard because
they have to go to preschool.
Well, and it's hard when a society is so, like, it's so, like, one... especially our society, like this Western culture and stuff like that. It's very much like both parents should go to work. So you have all this money to have the big house, to have all the cars, to have all the things,
to have to have all the status symbols you need to show everyone else that you're making money because
and your kids have to go to good schools and good, you know, whatever, so they can go to college and have more debt, and, you know, it's just, or
you can have more debt.
It's just constant, and And I
you have a baby, you're going to nurse them until they're 6 months. Stop nursing them because that's weird after 6 months. Yeah. And
so listen to your gut, first of all.
Listen to your gut with everything, with parenting.
Don't listen to other people.
Your life, even homesteading.
Other people that might be parents. They don't know more than you just because they have a child. But like, take everything with a grain of salt, I guess, because that's also different. Everybody is different. Every child, every 100%. Parent is different.
Yes.
So take it with a grain of salt. You don't have to be like, well, fuck you and your opinions.
No, and you know what? I should say something too. I'm not saying that, you have to stay home with your kid. I understand there's plenty of parents, moms and dads, both sides, that they need a job, basically. They're like, no, I feel more fulfilled. I feel better when I'm at work.
Yeah.
That is perfectly fine. Just have someone, I guess, that your kid has known since they were born, kind of thing. Like, you have someone that you can trust, essentially, is what I'm saying. Like, I think it's really important for a child to have more adult mentors in their life that you completely trust besides just their mom and their dad, especially if mom and dad are both working.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Like, I don't want to like put anyone down or anything. Like, I don't know.
It's fine.
It's fine. I say so.
So there is some sacrifices to all of it, but I think that's anything.
That's anything. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And, like we have talked about, and if that's like the path that you want to go on, then you should absolutely just do it. Don't worry about the money. And I know my husband hates when I say that. I'm like, it will all work out. But it will.
It does.
If that's what you want, it will work out. It will be fine. It's
very rarely does just do things and like.
That's like it. But it's like if there's something that you want, if that's what you really like, brings you joy or whatever, then you should just kind of go after it and not let things like, oh well, I'm worried we're not going to have like a savings. Okay, you won't. Oh well.
I mean, people survive without savings.
She can come in.
Like.
Shanley, she can come in. It's fine. Sorry. Speaking of children and babies.
Yes.
And wanting things. Anyways,
yes.
We hope that we answered your question, Joy.
Yes.
If not, we will do a whole... I feel like we could talk about this for so long.
So long.
I could talk about it for a whole other hour.
Like I think we tried to hit on everything that you specifically specified, but if we didn't, then please write back and let us know. Like, oh no, I meant for you guys to talk about this a little bit more.
Yeah, you won't hurt our feelings.
You're not going to hurt our feelings at all.
Or if you want us to go more in depth about something in particular.
Yes, exactly.
Like... it is a very broad.
Definitely write back to us.
Yeah, write back. Let us know.
Love to hear from you.
But thank you, Joy, for the questions and all that.
Awesome.
If any of you, we're gonna do like a Q&A in a couple weeks here.
Yeah, we're trying to give everyone time to get their questions in, and so get them in.
Get them in. You can either email us ourkindofhomesteading@gmail.com, or you can write us on Instagram. We'll say thank you for the question, and we won't and we'll tell you that we'll answer it in the upcoming episode.
Yeah.
So, but we won't answer you then unless you really want us to and be like, please, can you answer me, and still do it in the episode?
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, exactly.
If you are like dying for an answer of anything, and it can be about anything. It can be about homesteading, it can be about homeschooling. It can be about whatever the fuck you want to ask us. We don't care. And we try to be as open on all levels and as honest and real as possible.
Yes, always.
If you've listened to us, you probably know that about us.
Yes.
Really quick though, shout outs to our top patrons. If you haven't checked out our Patreon, please do so. It is fun. We just laugh and have a good time. And it is a way for us to make a little bit of money to kind of cover this, like our kind of homesteading part of it. Our Patreon helps kind of cover that and make a little bit extra money, so we can get a Starbucks every once in a while.
Or pay for a chicken feed. Either or.
But we do want a cow eventually. So I do want a cow eventually, so that would help. But our top patrons, thank you so much to Lexi and Tegan, our mom Tammy, and Megan.
Yes.
We really appreciate all of you guys, all of our patrons over there. You guys are all amazing.
Yes, thank you to everyone. Absolutely amazing.
And other than that, we'll talk to you all next time.
That's right. Bye, guys.
Goodbye.